What's up, roomies? Tonight on Neighbors, we're stepping into a conversation that might challenge how you think communication even works. Our guest, Terri Jay, intuitive medium, animal communicator, horse whisperer, medical and veterinary intuitive, and someone known for exploring telepathic connections between humans, animals, and even nonverbal individuals. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or just curious, tonight we're exploring the idea that communication might go deeper than words. Welcome, everybody, Miss Terri Jay. How you doing, Miss
Thank you
J?
so much, Ariel. It's good to be here.
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. And when I came across your post, I was fascinated, and I was like, I have to talk to you because I saw the telepathy tapes and that concept of um the concept of autistic children being able to communicate telepathically was an idea that I was already fiddling with because I was saying to a bunch of my friends, and this was before I started doing like guests on the podcast, that autism might be a step in human evolution and we're just seeing it in real time.
It's possible.
Yeah. So Terry, let the roomies know before the whole medium thing, how who where you come from, who were you before like all this.
Well, in 1990, I was doing a horseback therapy program with disabled kids, and I heard a nonverbal child speak to me. And it didn't dawn on me at the time that he was nonverbal. So him and I were carrying on a conversation while he was on the horse. And so when we were done, we were carrying on the conversation about everything but the horses, right?
Yeah.
So I took him off the horse and he went back to class. And the gal that was helping me said, "Boy, he's sure talking great." I said, "Well, he's very bright. Just because he has CP doesn't necessarily mean that he has any cognitive issues." And she looked at me. She said, "Terry, he didn't say a word. He can't, remember?" And if I was a horse, I would have done a beck fart snort because they do all three of those things at one time when they're spooked. And I was spooked, seriously. So I went into the classroom and they put a band around his head with a pointer and he had typed out on his computer, "Horse lady can hear me." So right there, I had it confirmed that I was in fact hearing him. So I
Was
stood
that
there and
was
continued
that
the conversation. Go ahead, sweetie.
I was about to say, was that like your first experience like telepathically communicating with somebody?
Yeah. 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 That was pretty weird. So I went back outside and told the volunteer that was helping me what had happened. And she just very matter of fact said, "Well, if you can hear nonverbal kids, you ought to learn to communicate with the horses because all animals are telepathic." I was like an idiot. Okay, I'm going to do that. There were no books at that time or anything. Now it's like a freaking cottage industry with my books included,
Yeah.
And so anyway, I just set out to learn to communicate with the horses. Of course, then I added in the dogs, and then I started doing it for other people. And while I was doing it for other people, I heard dead people. That was really weird. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just now I know there's no limits to it. And the fact that anyone can learn to do it. These are not gifts. You're not special if you do this. Maybe short bus special, but you're not special. Right?
Yeah. But that's crazy though. So after that first experience, right? Was there another moment where you realized, okay, I'm doing things that other people aren't doing?
I think so. I was married to a really gifted horse trainer at the time. If he wasn't an alcoholic, I'd probably still be married to him because we sure had fun with the horses. But he would just have me come out. "Oh, come talk to this horse." And then I got to where I was in the kitchen talking to the horses. I said, "I don't need to come out there. I'm just going to do it from here." No, you need to come out. No, all right. So then I go out there and talk. And it just didn't make any difference. A lot of times when I was just busy doing other things, I heard the animals. And it's just evolved. When I go to the schools and do the program at other schools, and I told the teachers, what was going on, and they'd bring a fussy child out to me, and I'd tell them what was wrong. And one had a cavity, and another one didn't have breakfast. So and the other thing too that happened, which is really good, is two energy healers sort of got in touch with me, and they taught me to have no ego. The ego means easing God out, and to just listen to the information and don't judge it. And so it just evolved into where I know there's no limits to it. So, I can see stuff inside of people and animals now, physical stuff.
That's cool. So when it like first appeared, is it like a triggering thing, or is it always on, or do you shut
I'm
it
always
off?
on. I teach
Always
people
on?
to have an off switch because it's not fun to be on all the time, and I am. So, if I go out in public, I get overwhelmed. I never make eye contact. My eyes are always down. I look like I have poor self-esteem. It's like, don't look at anybody.
I can't even imagine that. Your energy is so bright. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine you with low self-esteem. But
Well, sweetie pie, sometimes it's uncomfortable. My guides are always yippee yapping at me. They're always like, Terri, look at that. Oh, look at that. What do you see? Come on, what is that? They're always training me. They're always on me. And, I can spot a pedophile at 50 paces. What are you going to do with that information? You just...
That's true. You're absolutely right. But I'm pretty sure, like, with all that, like, extra information, extra sensory information, you could help a whole bunch of people.
I
Am
do.
correct? Yeah. So you're a blessing, because unlike me, which I don't have any of those gifts or anything like that.
Yeah, you do. You have all the abilities. Just get my first book and start working on it. You can do it. The biggest thing that people miss is the timing. When you're mentally trying to connect to somebody or get information, it mentally sounds like this. Hey, what about, it's that fast. Well, people get too much into their question or too much into their thoughts. And I love that stupid Ghost Whisperer show or Ghost Hunter show. And the guy's dragging out the freaking questions. That Zach guy.
Yeah.
Why are you stuck? Why haven't you crossed over? Well, if you were really going to have a conversation with some stuck energy someplace, it would be like, hey, are you, what do you want? It would be that fast. So he's even if he was getting a response, he'd be missing it.
And when you're communicating, is it more like conversational, or is it more like you're sharing like intention?
I would say it's taste, smells, sounds, feelings. The feelings can either be emotions, they can be physical pain, they can be emotional pain, they can be tactile. It's just across the board, because we're all born with intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance. Well, clair just means clear. Yeah. So it's clear seeing, clear feeling, clear hearing, clear knowing, and intuition, and we all have all of it. So my premise is that telepathy is fine, but that's just going to be words. And so if you add in intuition and the clairs into it, oh my God, it's like a symphony.
I could only imagine, like, just having all that information coming in at the same time.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming, but if you stay grounded and you stay out of your own way and no thinking, that's probably the hardest part, is not thinking.
Okay, that's super cool. And when you're like communicating with like animals, right? Like your horses, are they like super chattery with you, or like?
They're demanding. They're terribly, terribly demanding.
Really?
It's almost like, hey, bitch, get over here and give us a cookie. That's really what it's like.
No, right. So are like do different animals like speak to you differently? Like, does like the family dog is like, hey Terri, I really want to go on a walk now. Can we go on a walk? Versus like your horses where they're like, yo, I want a cookie.
It just depends on what's going on. If I do hair and makeup, my dog wants to go to the car. And I have to tell her, we're not going anywhere. I got to do video. We're not going anywhere. And she gets so disappointed. But she gets it, but she gets disappointed. And she turns into a pancake when she thinks I'm going to leave her behind. She's just this 55-pound pancake that won't move.
I know exactly how that is. That's how my dog is, King. He's just like that. what he'll see me getting dressed. He'll know that we're going out, and usually because I'm in the city, I take him out with me most of the
Sure,
time. But
sure.
when I'm going out, with my girlfriend or have other things to do, he just plops there and he looks at me like, "Really, you're not gonna take me out, bro?" And I could feel the intention, like you're
Well,
leaving me
sure.
behind, and I'm like, "My bad, but you can't come where
Yeah.
I'm going, bro."
Yeah, the horses are totally different, when you're communicating with them, because I do ride my one horse, and um, when I'm riding him, I really try to not touch the reins or give him any cues with my legs or seat or anything, and I just mentally will say whoa, or mentally I'll kiss to him so he'll canter or cluck or I just tell him jog, which is a slow trot, and I mentally tell him and he'll do it. It's pretty fun because he's like, I heard you. I mean, you can just see him go, I heard that. And if I just think, whoa, and I make sure I don't change anything in my body, he'll just jam the brakes on. But I think there's lots of people doing that with horses now. I really do.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Like, and like, do with like multiple horses or like multiple animals, do all their personalities like shine through when you're like communicating with them?
Oh, they're very different. They're very different. I have a McNabb, which is a kind of a herding dog,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Don't touch me." I said, "Don't touch me," and he'll just back away when you reach for him. He'll back away. He'll go, "That's not what I meant." And he just wants a treat. He's just funny. And my female, she's like, "Whatever you want, you can pet me anytime."
Yeah, that is so cool.
But he
So
does
dope.
deals. He does deals, Ariel. That's my McNabb is a deal maker.
Oh, really? So what kind of
Oh
deals
yeah.
he will make with you?
Well, I'll let you pet me if you give me a treat.
Oh, he'll leverage the love for the food. Oh,
Yes.
him and my dog would get along perfectly if that's the case.
Yeah. He's
Yep.
really awful too because at night he just comes along the side of the bed. My female's up on the bed and he's by the side of the bed and he just does the ice cream glare. He just glares at me and says, "It's time for ice cream. Let's go get it. Come on, bitch." And he just does.
Come on, you want some. You want some too.
It's right about 8:30 too. It's right about 8:30.
Wow, that is so amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would think that my dog, I would love to speak to him like verbally, but yet again, I
You
feel
don't
like he
need,
wouldn't. I feel like he wouldn't shut up though.
uh, but you don't need to. Your dog has you very well trained.
Oh, believe me, I know. He has everybody in this household very well trained.
Yeah, they just do that. They do that. They're good at it.
So, what surprised you the most when you started like communicating professionally and like helping people out?
I would say there's no limits. You can do whatever you want. The only two things I won't do is I won't do predictions.
No.
And the reason is, first of all, in Nevada, they're illegal,
Okay.
believe it or not. It's illegal to do predictions for money in Nevada. I'm up in northwestern Nevada. And the other thing I won't do is police work. I don't like doing police work because you have to tap into the perps. And I don't want to tap into that negative energy.
Nah, I I understand that because I know, and this is a story from my personal life. I know I would call her a medium as well, and she actually helps the NYPD with like unsolved cold cases.
Sure.
And I had this conversation with her where she tells me, yeah, it takes a lot out of me, but she's helped solve a lot of cold cases with her
Sure.
abilities and stuff. Is
See, there's people that want to do that. I want to help people heal. I find disease in people's bodies. Just a couple weeks ago, I was reading a horse that was up in Oregon because I do all my work by phone. I do it all over the world. People are still
nice.
amazed at that. And I said, well, there's no limits to energy, right? Energy's
Fact.
everywhere.
We're all connected.
Anyway, the horse was already at the vet hospital. And I said, I'm so sorry to tell you, but your horse needs surgery. And I said, he has enteroliths. And for non-horse people, those are intestinal stones.
Ooh.
I said, one of them is really big. So the horse had the surgery, was successful. He's recovering well. One of the stones weighed 5 pounds.
Jesus.
Big, really big.
And how do horses end up getting those?
Usually they ingest something that's not food. And so the
Mm,
body tries to coat it. And
okay.
so it gets coated in minerals.
Okay.
It gets
So
coated in minerals.
so it's somewhat like a human processing like kidney stones.
It's similar, but different for the body. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I think
Uh,
kidney stones are just
it-
all minerals.
yeah, it's mostly calcium and other minerals.
Right.
But I was just
Sure.
making the comparison, you know.
Right.
So wow, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
now
But
when you're
I see it in people too. I see, there's so many women that I deal with, and I ask them, I go, when did you have head trauma? And they say, what? Well, you had a concussion or bad concussion. Oh, yeah, I did. And I said, well, now your hormones are messed up because they
mm,
don't understand head trauma hormone syndrome. And
okay.
so, they have to get blood work done and get tested and then find out what they're low on and, get it. So,
And what's been like one of the I don't want to say craziest, but what's one of like the most I don't want to say influential either. I want to say like when you help the person, right, figure out whatever disease they had or whatever was going on with them. What was like that? What was that feeling like when you had like when you did it like the first time versus like now?
I don't have doubts now. I feel like an obedient servant, if that makes sense,
No, I understand that.
because I want to be of service. And so when I get information, for me, it's okay, how are we going to get this across in the most kind way? The most kind way. And, I've got clients that were diagnosed and terminal that I recommended energy healing to them that they're still here 20 years later. They're
Nice.
fine. Yeah. And people don't know about energy healing, but we have to remember this, that we're only 1% physical. We're 99% energy.
Yeah.
And people just don't think about it. So you think about all the diet, all the exercise, even allopathic medicine, it only is going to focus on the 1% shell that we're living in.
Yeah.
And so we really have to work at working at clearing the energy field because we're 99% energy.
Yeah.
And energy healing can be done. You can do it yourself. That's why there's no market for it, because you can just do it yourself and get rid of all your stuck negative emotions that cause the issues in the tissues.
I feel you on that. Do you see that people now in 2026 versus like when you first started this professionally are more open to like energy healing and
Oh,
like and
absolutely. Yeah,
holistic healing?
absolutely. People are much more open to it now. And I think the reason is they're so frustrated with allopathic medicine. They're just disgusted by it.
It is
That
true.
happened to me. I had a swelling from a pair of boots, and I went in to make sure it wasn't a blood clot and that it wasn't cellulitis. And the doctor said it was, what did she say? It was gout. And I just went, oh, you're not intuitive, are you? And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm a medical intuitive. I just can't see my own stuff. That's why I came here.
I was just
I said,
about to ask,
and
I was just about to ask if you could see like your own things too.
Sometimes I can. Sometimes I just get guidance on what to do about it.
Okay.
But I just thought, oh, you're not intuitive. And so when she said it's gout, I said, no. I said, you're just guessing. I said, you got training, but you're just guessing. I said, I need an intuitive. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm a medical intuitive. I can tell you what's wrong with you. And she just got really worried. And that was the end of the appointment. But
Oh man. I could imagine the look on her face when you said, yeah, I could tell what's wrong with you, but you can't tell me what's wrong with me.
that's right. I know. And sometimes, usually my guides will go, okay, you need to get some MagnaWave done, which is, MagnaWave is, or what do you call it? It's PEMF, pulse electromagnetic frequency, or microcurrent, or one of those things that
Yeah.
would fix it. And of course it fixed it. So it's like, I just want to make sure I wasn't being stupid and gonna end up dead because of it.
Nah, I feel you on that. And as you've been helping people, has there excuse me, Have you ever came across someone that you couldn't like help guide to recovery? Like you were like, I there's nothing I could do for you or anything like
I've
that.
actually lost two friends
Oh,
because they wouldn't listen.
mm,
And one couldn't forgive her late husband for killing himself. She died of pancreatic cancer. And then I had another friend who had a gambling addiction, and she felt it was easier to leave than deal with the debt.
my
I lost them
condolences.
both. And they know me, and I knew exactly what was going on with both of them, and I tried to share it, and they just made other choices.
Yeah.
So
I have a similar situation to that. Like my aunt, who's like my second mother, she passed away from pancreatic cancer as well. But the thing about her was that instead of receiving, the proper help she needed, she went more towards the spiritual side and didn't really tend to her physical side. You know what I mean?
yeah, but you got to have a happy medium of both.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-allopathic medicine, but if you don't deal with the stuck negative emotions that have caused your dis-ease, you're not going to get well. I mean, we just don't realize that we're born powerful. We've just come from source. We know we come into a physical form in order to create. You can't create if you're non-physical.
Yeah.
And then little by little, people take your power. They say you can't because, and they give you a reason. So by the time we hit puberty, we are so screwed up, and we just feel powerless in our life. And it takes us a long time, and sometimes people never get their power back.
No, I
And
get
so
that.
that's really, what we need to do is take our power back. And one of the best ways to do it is think of who took your power, and you write them a letter and you tell them off, use all the potty words. And then you burn it while you say out loud, nobody's ever going to treat me like that again. You cannot believe how life-changing that can be. It's unbelievable. Just simple telling them off and burning it.
No, I get that.
Letters, not the people. The
Roomies, don't go burning people. Burn
no,
letters, not people. But
no.
how much in your career, how much of like the people you help treat was their energy connected to like grief or like a grudge they were holding or some negative
Yeah,
force that they were holding that was causing the illness? Like what
every
percentage of
time.
every time?
Every time. People don't realize that heart disease, breast cancer, lung cancer, which you need to stop vaping. You're getting popcorn lung.
Okay.
And, all of those things are caused by heartbreak. And even modern medicine says, yes, there is a thing called heartbreak syndrome that causes heart attacks. So they're catching up a little bit. Things in like the pancreas in the center part of the body where the solar plexus is, that's third chakra, that'll affect pancreas, liver, small intestine, and gallbladder. And those things are from not, either it's power, ego, and control. Those issues are there. And anything in the lower abdomen is childhood crap. And how many people have childhood crap? Oh my
A lot of
God.
people. A lot of
Yeah.
people.
But it still comes down to the same thing, loss of power,
Yeah.
feeling powerless. And we just don't realize that it's that simple. I'm to the point after 36 years of doing this that it's disempowerment causes dis-ease. I mean, it's that simple.
Okay. So would you say that like a lot of the association between like our physical health is very much connected to how we as humans are processing our emotions and not being able to let certain things go?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
And the other thing too is you'll have people that they go to forgiveness without processing out the anger and rage. And if they do that, they've just stuffed the emotion. That you have to process the emotions out, negative emotions, before you can go to forgiveness. And forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. Nothing.
it's really you're forgiving yourself, essentially.
I just think it doesn't involve the other person. It's you letting go of what you're holding on to that's poisonous to you. It's more that.
Okay. So you would say that like emotions are like substance abuse. But I'm just trying to like make a connection
Yes,
here.
that's
Like
a
emotions
really
are like
good.
substance are like
That's a
substance
really good
abuse.
connection. Yeah.
So it's like the more you know do all right, I don't want to say it like this, but the longer you're angry at this situation is like the longer you've been smoking crack.
It- um, energetically,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
I would
that's what I
agree.
mean. Yeah.
Energetically, yeah.
Wow. That interesting. Wow. Um
Yeah.
snap. So quick question.
Yes, sir.
When you're getting like information, how could you tell the difference between like an outside source and like your own inner thoughts?
Oh, my guides make it really apparent. They really make it. Oh, yeah. No, I know if I tune into somebody that's passed, it's a different voice. I did a lady a couple weeks ago. She's so sweet, and I did a group reading for her family, and it was so funny because um, she kept yelling at me, "Tell them yellow bricks, tell them yellow bricks." And I went, and I'm like, "What are we talking, Wizard of Oz here? What's the deal?" And I'm arguing with her, and I know it's her and her energy. And
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, she's yelling at me that I have to tell you guys yellow bricks." They all lost it. They lost it because the husband had just had 9 pallets of yellow bricks delivered to their house in Hawaii. Isn't that
And
something?
weapon?
It's really something. I want to have a TV
Yeah.
show and call it "I Can't Make This Shit Up." That's what I want to call this
Yo,
show.
I swear, believe me, if you do, hit me up. I definitely would want to work on that because everything you're telling me right now is to me is amazing. So like when you yet again, and this is just backtracking a little bit, is it when you're getting information, is it more of like receiving or is it interpreting?
I would say it would have to be both because
Both.
there's lots of times where they just go, "Look," and I'm supposed to figure it out. And they go, "Look," and they're pointing out somebody, and I go, "Okay, liver failure," and they go, "Ah, like I got it." I get those Atta girls, and they'll
Okay,
point to
okay.
somebody else, and they go, "What?" And I go, "Oh, diabetes, uncontrolled." I just get that from them because they're just checking to see if I'm paying attention.
Okay, okay. So they're constantly like making sure they'll drop a little hint and they'll have you fill in the blanks.
No, a lot of times it's just look. If you tune in energetically.
Okay.
We all can do this. The energy is everywhere. I did a reading last week in Ireland.
And how did
So
it,
I
and how did that go? If you
really
could speak
good,
on it.
really good. It was a client who lived there, used me. I saved her sister's life, seriously, with information. And then she was living here, and then they moved back to Ireland, and she had questions, and it's so fun to work with them.
I
And
believe it,
I
man.
have clients all over the country, all over the world, really. Australia, New Zealand, um, um,
Not with
Southeast
a
Asia.
not with a gift like yours, I believe that hundreds of thousands of people try to reach out to you
It's
to get
not
your
it's not a
assistance.
gift though, sweetie pie. You have it too.
You're right. I do. So all right. So like what would be like the first steps of like someone like myself like unlocking these gifts or like trying to access it?
The first thing you have to do is love yourself, because otherwise it's going to limit how much you're going to be able to receive. You've got to get to where you love yourself. And I would recommend doing energy healing on yourself to clear out the cobwebs. And then
Okay.
start doing some sort of meditation or chanting or something so that you're intent on raising your own vibration. And then I've got 7 steps. In the 3 books that I've published, there's 7 steps. And you just
Okay.
start doing those 7 steps, and people are like, "Oh my God, I saw this and I felt this, and was that real?" Yeah, you did good. And I coach people. I love to coach people to learn to do this. It's so much fun.
How is it when you're like coaching people to like do it?
You just watch them, and most of the time they're getting stuff, and then they get so shook by it, by the clarity of it, they unground. And so I have to tell
Mhm.
them, ground again, get your ground back. Oh, yeah. And they ground again, and then they go, "Oh, okay, I got it." And they just do great.
That's so cool. Like like That is so dope. Um, if someone listening right now a skeptic, right?
Sure.
What's something about telepathic communication that most people misunderstand?
The timing,
Mm.
the timing and how it comes through. It's sometimes pulses of information. It may not be, hey, I saw you the other day. It may be, a visual image of them coming through to you and the timing of where you were last week or something. See?
Okay, I got that.
Yeah,
So
it's pulses of, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that old game, that old TV game Concentration. Remember that show? You're probably too
yes,
young, but
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not quite sure if you can elaborate.
well, it's like every time you turn over puzzle pieces, there's a puzzle and it says minus this and add that. And, sometimes that's what it feels like. You're trying to put together a puzzle.
Oh snap! Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So after like your first time with the child and the horse, right? Did you work with more nonverbal kids, like helping them or like
Oh
helping
gosh,
the
yeah, because I got known for doing it, and so I'd have parents calling me all the time. Plus, my website is full of the fact that I do that, and I published a book called Intuitive Communication: Communicating with Those Who Cannot.
okay.
So,
And like with like parents of the nonverbal communicating kids, like do you help them to like try to like find the link there or like try to like unlock their gifts so that they could talk to their child or like
sure.
have a better like communication with their child?
Oh yeah. I really work with them, and it's really been an adventure to see these parents transform, where they're actually doing complete telepathic communication, with their own kids now, and that's really what we want to see.
That must be
You
so
know,
hard. That must be so heartwarming to like be able to be the bridge that helps a mother and a father like communicate with their child.
sure.
And what when did you started taking all of it like super seriously?
Um, well, I've been at it 36 years this year, and I would say it became really a full time thing about 2001 is when I really started doing it full time.
All right. And what was the catalyst for you to do it full time?
I needed a job.
I
Yeah,
feel you.
I just gotten divorced, and I just thought, well, I'll go try to work there. And then I was like, oh no, they have music playing. I can't work where there's music playing. And then I started reading people, and it just got weird. I think I took a job selling furniture or something, and it was like, oh, I can't work here, because you'd see somebody and you go, oh my god, that's a pedophile. Oh my god, look at all the babies with him.
Oh
And
no.
you get creepy stuff like that. And then
Mm,
everybody started using me, and they'd put in it was so long ago, they'd put in a fax to see if they could get credit for their customer. And then they'd look at me, and I'd go, or
no.
then I'd go, they're going to get more.
Yeah.
So, everybody, and I was right every time. So I really pissed them off.
Did you ever have like did you ever have like clients or people that reached out to you that were kind of like skeptical on like your abilities or like the help that you're giving them?
I think that there's a lot of people that are in denial of what's going on in their own life. I'm sure you run into this,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people that they're not being honest with themselves about their life and where they're at. And I think that's just normal. But when they come to me and they want me to try to look at it and give guidance on what they should do, that's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny. But when I hear people saying, "Well, Terri said I should do this," and it's like, who said that? Because I hear them when they're talking about me. I really do. It's pretty funny.
No, I believe it because like people are putting their not only their faith in you, but sort of like their well being and looking for you as looking at you as like a mentor, a
Right.
guide. So I could believe the pressure's on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just feel I'm just so in surrender on it. Let go, let God.
Yeah.
You really just have to be in surrender. And I just let what comes come. And it's so fun. It's so fun to do this.
I could,
It's,
I could believe it.
yeah,
Cause boy, to talk to King would be amazing.
yeah. It really, there's no limits to it. And I think this was what was really helpful early on is, I had one client that would say, "Can you look at something?" And of course, we're over the phone. One time she was in an ambulance. She said, "I got bucked off my horse. What did I hurt?" And of course, I had to really ground and look at her. And I said, "Okay, so you hurt this, this, and this. You need this test, and this test. But you're okay. You're just going to be really sore." So she goes into the ER and tells the doctor, "I hurt this, this, and this. I need this test, and this test." And he says, "Are you a physician?" She says, "No, my friend's a medical intuitive." And she looked me over and he's looking around. He goes, "Where is she?" "Well, she did it over the phone." And I get that a lot. And of course, when all was said and done, it was exactly like I said. So it's pretty funny. He was like, "How did she do that?"
Do you ever have like medical professionals like call you up and say, "Hey, I need
Oh,
like a second opinion on what I'm about to diagnose
yes.
and stuff"?
I have a lot of clients that are veterinarians and physicians, a lot of them. I am honored to work with them. I'm just honored. But, it's the same as me. I can't see my own stuff.
Yeah,
So, if they're too close to it, they're not going to be able to see it.
that's so cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Um, where was I? If so why do you think subjects like this create such strong reactions, like both belief and skepticism?
I think people don't want to believe this is true or possible. They're worried about other people reading their minds. I'm sorry, I got better things to do than go out in public and read people's minds. I get
Yeah.
flashes and things, and for the most part, I'm just going to ignore it. And the worst thing that people with these abilities do is ambush people with readings. Oh my God, that is a big ass no. You
Yeah.
never ambush people with information. The Long Island Medium does it. And I think there's another one that does it. And you can't ambush people. You don't know what state they're in. Are you always going to get information for people? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you are. Are you supposed to share it? No. How about no? That's you, an ego, being the dog and pony show. It's a big no. And it can
No.
be so dangerous because you don't know what emotional state they're in. So if they're in a really bad emotional state and you tell them, "Oh, your brother that died tells you blah, blah, blah," and they're going to go home and kill themselves and you're responsible.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want that on yourself
You
either.
can't, you can't. And my favorite is, "Can I just ask one question?" And that's like, for
Mm,
free. That's my favorite. How about the answer is going to take a half hour? Okay.
yeah.
So if you want a reading, schedule a reading. They
Do
want
it.
to test me after 36 years. No.
Nah. You're the real deal, girl. So
I just love doing it. But the biggest thing and the biggest push I want to do is to show other people what's possible. If you develop these abilities, you're going to have a happier, healthier, more abundant life. You just are.
no, that's a straight fact, because of the fact that in order for you to unlock these abilities, you have to learn how to love yourself, which in
Right.
2026 a lot of people are struggling to do. You're gonna
Right.
have to ground yourself, which
Yes,
yet again in 2026 a lot of people are struggling to do. And
that's right.
you're gonna have to do a lot of self-work. So it's not just about being able to receive the information, it's about being
Correct.
able to bring yourself whole again, which I think a lot of people now, especially, including myself,
Right.
I'm, it's hard for us to kind of achieve wholeness when everything is being when you see society kind of being bombarded by like
Right.
negativity every day, and you see this on the news, you hear about this, and these files are being released, and our leaders are doing all this craziness, and the world's
Sure.
just in like this big old flame, and so I could see how people are are struggling to get to a place where they could, I don't want to use the term awaken, but come into their awakened state.
Everybody can learn to do this, and it's so freaking helpful. You can go in to buy a car and know what they're into it. So you got really good negotiating abilities, because you know they're going to say, "Oh, we're into it this much money," and you're going to go, "No, you're only into it this."
Yeah.
So let's meet in the middle, and I'll pay you this much for it. And they're like, "Who are you? Are you? What is it called? Not scamming. Are you? What's that word? I can't think of that word.
Scheming?
No, when you're like, pranking. Are you pranking me? They'll say that.
Are you trolling?
Yeah. What? And it's like, no, I just hear that. What do you mean you hear it? Well, I'm intuitive, and so I'm hearing. I can read that paper while it's upside down. Okay, so.
No, don't try to play me.
Yeah. So you can. It's amazing what you can do with it. And the thing that I love the best is I think of how many people that I worked with that were so-called terminal that are still here, and they're happy and they're healthy.
That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and all they did was heal themselves with the guidance. That's all they did.
And you'll be surprised. Like, yet again, I'm surprised, and I'm probably sure the roomies are surprised that with a little bit of self-love, you could, you're able to go from terminal to recovery.
That's right. The other thing too, we still have to remember the freaking physics of this.
Yeah.
Energy, frequency, vibration. So the lowest vibration we have is fear. The highest vibration is love. And you think about how many people that are running around terrified all the time, every minute of every day.
Yeah.
And so that low vibration is going to bring in dis-ease.
I understand.
Yeah.
If telepathy became normal tomorrow, right? How would society change?
Nobody'd be able to get away with anything.
That's a fact.
Really. They wouldn't, because you'd be able to call them on it. From around the world, you'd be able to call them on it.
Yeah.
So I think that would change a lot of things.
Do you think that it would bring, like, I don't want to say a golden era, but like an age of honesty where people could actually, like, own up to their like shit, essentially?
Yeah, they would. So I think it might be a little uncomfortable for some people. I mean, there's times when I'm walking through, Walmart doing my grocery shopping, and I just hear, "Oh God, my butt itches." Well, I could go all day without having to hear that. And then you start looking around like, who said that? And you're just looking for who looks like they have an itchy butt.
I would just do that. With things like that, I would be cracking up all day long.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I just, people go, "What's so funny?" Oh, you just wouldn't understand.
And from like your personal experience, was like when you're just like walking down the street, was like some of the funniest things you ever heard?
Oh God, that one to me is really funny. And I always hear the comments that you're not supposed to say out loud. I'd tap that. Yeah. You just start laughing like she'd have you. That kind of stuff.
Oh man.
Not about me. It's not about me. No, I'm a fat old lady, so it's not about me.
If you could prove one thing about consciousness to the world, what would it be?
Just this, we have to have unconditional love. We can have boundaries, but we need to have unconditional love. And it's just so important. It's the most powerful energy in the universe. And, people they're just afraid, and they can't live in fear. They have to learn to live in love.
Why do you think that people don't live in love now? Like, why do you think it's so hard for people to connect to that vibration?
Because they've been taught that they're not lovable. That's number one. That's disempowerment. Yeah. And they're afraid of getting hurt. So that's the other thing. They're afraid of getting hurt and getting their heart broken. And I tell people this, especially the young gals that I work with, and I go, "I can guarantee you the relationship you're in is going to end." And they just get terrified and go, now, the unknowns are quality and quantity.
True.
You may have 50, 60, 75 years with the person, but the quantity and the quality are always unknowns. So, but every relationship ends. So we have to get good at grieving. We do.
Mm. And how do you see that a lot of people that you work with, it's hard for them to like get through grief?
Yes, but but I do a lot of communication with people that have passed and animals that have passed too, which is so healing. Oh my God, it's so healing. And, when you hear from them, like the yellow bricks,
Yeah.
and once they know they're around and they're fine and that they don't even remember how they died, then they can let go of all of it.
That's
So
awesome.
it's very healing.
That's amazing. Like I really enjoy the fact that you're able to, help people, get over their grief and,
Yeah,
and just bridge and just become whole again because
yeah,
yet again, the world that we're living in now, it's so disconnected and it's so like negative based, and that's what like social media is pushing, and that's what like the
right.
media is pushing, that we don't see so much positive in it. And you're doing great work and you're doing
Well, that's why
positive
I
things.
have to have a TV show.
You
People need to
do?
find out and know what's possible. I have to have it. And
Yeah.
it's always so interesting because I go and do a reading on an animal and then I have to pivot to the human and go, can we talk about your stuff? Because my guides will be biffing me in the back of the head going, hey, look, what's their problem? And I'm always polite and I always ask, can we talk about this? Your grief, your health issues, your finances, your relationship, we need to talk. And so we finish with the animal and pivot to the human, and the results are just mind boggling.
I believe it will be. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people out there that do that start with animals. And it's such a nice hook because people love their animals.
Yeah.
And then we do a little bit with the animals and, it's all warm and fuzzy and we're going to fix things and all that. And then we pivot to the human and, oh my God, they're a different person when we're done than they were when we started. It's that dramatic.
What's one experience that you had that still like blows your mind?
God, there's just too many. I mean, the lady with the yellow bricks, that one sticks in my mind. The horse where I saw the enteroliths, that was huge. There was another lady that they couldn't save her horse and she was beating herself up with guilt. And I said, the minute your horse went down, he was dying. There was no saving him, no getting him in the trailer, no getting a vet out, no nothing. And ironically, that horse had enteroliths too, but they had ruptured the intestine.
Mm,
So
yeah.
the ones I love are when somebody says, I lost my dog, he died, and then I got this new puppy, and I'm really worried because the new puppy's acting exactly like the older dog. And I go, yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's back.
Oh,
And
there you go.
yeah, they
So
reincarnate. They reincarnate all the time.
that's so cool, and they'll find you again. That's even
Yes,
better.
always. It's not like that movie. It's not like that movie where the dog keeps trying and trying and trying. They come back immediately, right away to you because of the love connection.
And then humans, especially like with dogs, at least for my experience, is my dog. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's an older guy now. When he passes, I hope he does come back to me eventually.
He will. It's a guarantee.
That's so
I had
cool.
one lady call me. This is just a couple weeks ago, and I talked to her, and she says she's bawling. I think I have to put my dog down. I go, what's the dog's name? How old is it? I go, no. I said, this dog's pain's off the charts. He was a 9 on the pain scale. I said, do you give him this? No. Do you give him that? No. Have you done this? No. She had a laundry list of all the things she could do to make this dog feel better. And I heard from her, and the dog is fine, running around like an idiot, and he couldn't move before. His back was out. He needed to go to the chiropractor. He needed a massage. And the dog's like a new puppy now.
Yep, he just needed a little bit of maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance. They got to have maintenance. We do too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, the day after 30, I felt it all.
Wait till you're double that.
Oh man.
Wait till you're double that. I have a 5-step mounting block to get on my horse. 5 steps to a platform. It's a long, slow process. Once I'm up there, I'm fine.
As long as you get up there, right?
Yep. I can get up there.
If pets could suddenly speak one sentence out loud, would humanity be ready for it?
Say again, please.
If our pets could like suddenly speak one sentence to their owner, do you think humanity would be ready for that?
I think they're already hearing it.
Okay.
Because it's usually I'm taking a nap, leave me alone, or I need more treats, which is a lie.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know that one.
Yeah.
That one I know personally.
Right. I love that little ad one time, and it said, if your owners have taken a treat and divided it in half and told you it was a whole treat, you may be entitled to compensation.
Yeah, I've seen that reel. That's hilarious.
My dogs are way entitled to compensation then.
Boy, if King had a lawyer, he'll get me for everything I had. If that was the case.
Yeah, I know.
Do you feel more connected or more overwhelmed by people's energy?
Oh God, I just come from unconditional love all the time, and I don't mean to be corny or anything, but I just love everybody. And I've had people go, "Are you this nice all the time?" And they've actually said that to me. Like if I go to the bank or I go to a store and a sweetie and honey pie and cutie pie, and they'll look at me like, "Are you for real?" Because that's just how I am now. I love myself, so I can love everybody else.
That's like the saying goes: if you can't help yourself, you can't help.
That's
anyone.
right.
So if you can't love yourself, you can't love everyone.
Yeah, but I've had people think I was just being phony or silly, and no, that's how I really am.
No, I could easily tell that just by your energy, your laugh, the way you carry yourself. If this is the genuine thing, man,
it is,
and I love it, and I'm loving every second.
My favorite word is authentic.
Yep.
Be authentic. Be who you are. I mean, I had somebody one time go, "You really need to stop cussing," and I go, "What?" Well, it kind of ruins your credibility. And I went, "No, I'm the cussing cowgirl. Okay, all cowgirls cuss. We all do. It's part of our nature. We're taught it from a young age that cussing is okay if you're out there with horses." And even my publisher wrote on the back of one, he called me a cussing cowgirl. I wear that moniker with pride.
Oh yeah, wear that joint, girl. How do you protect yourself energetically?
I put a bubble of white light around me if I'm out in public.
And how do you do that?
Yeah. Just visualization with intention.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy peasy. You remember Wizard of Oz, where the fairy the one witch comes down in this bubble of light? I think it's pink. Yeah. You just picture that. Put it around your vehicle. If you're ever taking a trip, put it around your vehicle.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. I will take note of that.
Yeah. And also listen to what your guides are saying about traffic, because that is the place where most people start hearing their guides, is in traffic. Yeah. Look out for that vehicle. You better slow down. Watch, you have to take the next right. Your guides I don't know why they love to do traffic, but they do. They love to help you in traffic.
It's because people don't know how to drive sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that too.
Especially out here in New York. They be wild.
Yeah. Well, this is where I live. This is the view out my window. So it's really gorgeous out here. And we're all a bunch of truck driving country people.
So that's better than a whole bunch of sedan driving people out here in New York, because it's super congested, it's crowded, but that view right there is magnificent. It's beautiful. Yeah, I can't even lie. What's the first step for someone wanting to strengthen their intuition?
I think I would recommend getting the books. There's 3 books. First one teaches you everything. Second book is intuitive communication, communicating with those who cannot. And the third one is the physics of mediumship. So if you just want to talk to dead people, non-physical energy beings, that's the book for you. Because to me, it cuts out all the bullshit. It just does. Here's how it is. You're not going to get anything negative from people who have passed.
Yeah.
You're just not. You're only going to get happy stuff. If you're getting negative stuff, you're dumpster diving.
Okay.
So
And
I'm working on the dog book, then the horse book, and then the cat book. And then I've got 2 novels that I'm going to turn into screenplays. Other than that, I'm not doing a damn thing.
girl, you're doing a whole lot.
I love to write. I love to write.
Not, with all the experiences that you've had, I could just imagine all the things that you could write about. And nonfiction and fiction, because if you go off on a fiction tangent with all your experiences, you'll probably have a world best-selling series.
Yeah. I already have the outlines. I have the characters. So it's just a matter of getting the time to do it. And I love doing readings all day. I really do. But then it's like, I need a break.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
What does human awakening mean to you personally?
Say again, sweetie.
What does human awakening mean to you personally?
Oh, just knowing yourself, loving yourself, realizing what's possible just with our thoughts and our feelings. We're all magnificent manifestors. And we need to learn that we're magnificent manifestors. And we never have to stay with the status quo. Never.
I got you on that. And Ms. J, for my last and final question that I ask everyone, do you have any final thoughts or any final messages to the roomies and everyone out there?
Just if you want a reading, I love helping people. I'm cheap. I'm only 50 and 90 half hour. You can sign up on my website. You can schedule it, pay, fill out the form. And I love meeting all of you and helping all of you.
All right, cool. Roomies, remember to love yourself, vibrate higher.
Yes.
And if you need help, reach out and ask for help. And Ms. J will help you out.
I'd love to.
All right. Peace out.